One of the things is when I first got the bike, someone's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, the weather's being crappy," and I'm like, "I'm used to it. The summer doesn't start till the 4th, and while it's not anywhere close to after the 4th, I'm like, I get it. It's cool." Aaron's doing flame warden stuff. When he looks for fires, and sometimes he looks around for things way further in a direction than places that describe it. They're like, "It's south of Bradenbrook," meaning it's on the southern edge of town, and Aaron will be 5 kilometers south. I'm like, I don't know where it's at. It's been forever since I've done this. But he has his graphic settings low enough that it is hard to...
No, I actually don't. I just travel fast enough that things don't load.
That's what I'm saying is, we have pretty much the same video card, and I don't have a problem with it. I don't know what my graphic settings are at. We could have had them at the same settings. It's just, I don't know. Since Fire Festival's starting up and there's a fiery Hearthstone effect in it, I'm going to probably come back after the gym and take care of some of that stuff. And just sort of, because I got about 100 blossoms. You need 300, and I got some odd done. Because really you need to do like, let's see, a Horde Fire is 10 blossoms, and Alliance Fire is 5.
Yeah,
So,
or 15 if it's not lit.
I usually don't throw them in because that subtracts one. I don't worry about it. I just sort of do the quest that gives me them, and I move on to the next one. Probably going to go hit up Northrend after this. There's a lot of fires in Northrend that I remember. I'm a mage, so I can go anywhere I want. But yeah, so I'm going to head down to the gym now and do some legs. And well, just like Rohir was saying, it's festival season, and I found one up here. I had no idea where I was going. But yeah, I'm actually really near Artis. Water. Yeah. I don't know what Aaron and I are doing for dinner. I'm just going out and exploring in the sun. My legs are super tired from leg day, so I'm just like, I don't really want to go too terribly far. But yeah. I was going to swing around and head over by Artis and head home. I think to obey normal traffic rules, I have to go across this bridge and make a U-turn. Let me quickly check maps. I'm trying not to have maps open so that I don't have that issue. Oh, that's Aaron's location. Don't care. I know where Aaron's at. He didn't leave the house. Take a left, go along the canal. That makes sense. Alright, I'm home. I didn't really get myself lost. I was going towards the location and got distracted. And wound up kept going, thinking, there's no possible way I went this far, this fast. So I kept going, and when I wound up at that fest, which you want to smell barbecue, any meat, that place is the place to go. You can get barbecued herring if you so desire. It was just like the two little like kebab sticks, but long, and like they're little fried, their whole bodies were fried to the point where they were hard, but they're probably soft on the inside, and they were hanging like with the little T of their tail holding them onto the thing. If your parents were here visiting with you, I'd be like, Steve, we're going up there now. And there's old ladies with tiny tables, and hawking their wares, and you know. And this is what Rohir was talking about with fest season. And there's just like every little Pline, except for Steve Biko Pline, seems to be having a thing. But technically, Kruger Pline has it. And yeah. I'd say that like maybe Boken Pline would have it, but it's already got a bunch of restaurants in that area. But that would be a perfect place to be having one. Yeah. But anyways, I'm not sure if we're doing anything more today. Like,
I don't know either.
I wasn't asking you, I was asking myself in the camera.
Okay.
We'll maybe figure something out. It's very warm outside, and there's all of the people doing all of the things outside. All right, we are walking to a well-researched Italian joint. I already forgot its name, but I know where it's at because that's my mapping.
Yeah.
I know how to get there, I don't know what it is. But there are already kids swimming in the canal, on rubber boat, inflatable boats. People just out literally enjoying the sun, relaxing. Like, this is that mythical, relaxed Sunday where everybody's outside and just being in, that I hear happens in Europe when the sun comes out like this. Like, it happens in the States, and we have been to, like, the waterfront when this happens, but it always, everywhere I've been, or at least in my recent little bike ride today, people are all sort of relaxed and sort of having a fun time, whereas the people at the waterfront seemed directed and intent on, like, going somewhere and doing something. Like,
Yeah.
whereas, like, people here, like, to be fair, we are directed and we are walking towards a place, but, like, we're not gonna force someone to get out of the way. Where there was a really skinny thing between plants and cars, and I was just like, you know what, let's let this guy with the baby, with a stroller, just let him go past. There's a lot of bikes and a lot of plants. It just was a very narrow.
And it just made more sense to let him pass.
Yeah, and it's like I said, we've been to the waterfront numerous times when it's like it gets to be like, let's go to shift American gears here, when it's like 70 degrees, 68 and sunny, you know, and just go to the waterfront and there's literally just like standing room only. But there's about 10% of the people that are just as generally, I guess we'll go with the term gezellig. Whereas about half of them are trying to relax but feel uncomfortable but glad they're there. And the other remainder percentage are just like trying to get somewhere to go do something very specific in the sun.
Yeah.
And it's just like, enjoy your path. It's definitely something that I've done on the bike. While I do have a directed, like when I went to my appointment, I did have the idea of going to the appointment and figuring out my directions to get there and what turns to make. And it was also slightly rainy. But even today, I completely blew past my mark by a long shot. In terms of, you know, how far to go. And it didn't really matter because I was enjoying looking around even though I'd been in that part of town a little bit before. Like, it's hard to say, oh, I got lost. No. The first day on the bike, I got lost and wound up in Sloterdijk. This one, I was like, I knew where I was going. I had an idea where I was. I'd seen this stuff before and thought, hey, this street looks interesting. Maybe this is where Burrito Anonymous is. Oh, hey, look, you know, all that stuff. But that's just sort of the thing. It's like, everyone seems to be kind of enjoying their moment and whatever they're doing, not like the kids, like the parents and the kids, even the few that we've passed, they're not trying to say, get this paint project done that they were doing. They were enjoying doing it.
Yeah.
We're gonna cut this off here and we're gonna go eat. We'll figure out what that restaurant's like. It looks to be a good place, but again, I've looked at green spaces before on Google Maps and it winds up being like, not the green space I was thinking of. But I think this one is. So we're sitting up on the second floor. This is the green space I was talking about. Got a whole hell of a lot of people out there just enjoying it. Definitely a place we could probably take the bus down during like more of an evening. There's definitely open spaces for us to grab a blanket and come down. And if we came at like 7, 8 on a Saturday, yeah, like last night even.
Would have been perfect.
But yeah, so it's the Osteria. I'm probably, so this is the fallback pizza. Basil, pepperoni, mozzarella. I mean, it's very basic pepperoni pizza. There's also quattro formaggi. DOP, is that?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Grana Padano. But yeah. Beautiful day. Well, that was a very lovely dinner. Did not actually get a lot in there because there was a lot of people around, and I made sure to take the camera off the tripod so I could manipulate it in a close quarters environment without having to like, hey, 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 all that jazz. But at least you guys got to see the food before we ate it. The meat was on par. I have to say the meat was really good. There's a little bit much of it, but the reason why I asked about that is because about the meat is I wanted to get an idea of like, if necessary, could I like swallow the whole chunks?
Yeah.
And I could, and I even gave one piece to Aaron that was like nice and covered in the little mascarpone limon sauce, and like he'd already had like a couple mouthfuls of lasagna, so we probably didn't get the full experience of my dish, but I could definitely tell. Like it came and it got plated down. He was like, "Oh, that looks really good."
Yeah.
But yeah, and your lasagna was?
It was good. The cheese on top wasn't melty. It was crunchy, and I don't know why.
Sometimes that happens with nachos. Sometimes the cheese is not the right kind. It's not a melty cheese. So you can turn cheese into a sauce, but you need to have some other kind of meltier cheese, like more of a mozzarella cheddar blend. But if you choose like a pure cheddar or an old Gouda, you might get kind of a crunch. This is the name.
Aside from that, really good.
And the seating was wonderful.
Yeah.
And definitely had some ideas about coming down, and like, it's not really that far if we're still living in the same spot in New Year's. That would be a great place to go down and watch the town explode. Leave me sedentary and getting schnockered. Sort of thing. Rather than wandering around trying to figure out, where the hell am I? Anyways, but that's that for today. Aaron's going to, it just seems so weird. Because there was no practice on Thursday.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, it's a little,
weekend.
feels like a very long weekend. And there's no practice or game yesterday, or no practice today, no game today. Well, there was games today, and it's going to be Crusaders, Commanders. Yeah, so.
Who gets home field?
Probably Crew, because they absolutely stomped everyone.
Gotcha.
So point advantages, if it came down to it, it's going to be Crew for point advantages. But I don't really know. I don't care. Because it's going to be in Arnhem. And like, if I was free and maybe we were out there, I'd do it. But I'm not going out to Arnhem. I will check you guys all tomorrow for a vidya and all that jazz. It's very warm for being cloudy. We might actually have some of those decent clouds tonight.
Yeah.
But we won't be awake to see them. Because you got to go to Eindhoven tomorrow.